Good afternoon. It is 4 o'clock on Monday, September 15th, and that means that it is Municipal Monday here in the city of Conway. We're going to begin this afternoon with our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Justin Jordan is going to lead us in that. If you'll all rise, please.
Let us pray. God, I thank you for another beautiful day and the opportunity we have to gather here this afternoon to conduct the business of the city of Conway. I pray that you would give us the courage and the knowledge to make the best decisions possible for this amazing place that we're so blessed to call home. And as we all leave here this afternoon, I pray that you would keep a hand of safety upon each and every one of us. Lord, lead, guide, and direct us in all that we do. In your name I pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. My name is William Goldfinch. I serve as your mayor pro tem. Mayor Barbara is out this afternoon. She's getting over a cold, so let's remember her throughout this meeting and into the week. All right. We have the consent agenda items listed there. Mr. White?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we accept the agenda.
Motion, is there a second? I think I saw Mr. Jordan's hand first.
Second Mr. Wright's motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to special presentations and a recognition of volunteers.
Pastor, are you here?
Ms.
Pastor,
Harry,
you stand up?
can you come forward, Ms. Harry?
Do you want me to introduce him, or do you want to come up?
What's that?
Do you want to come forward? Do you want to introduce him? Yes. This is about putting him on the spot?
Okay. We put out a call to get us some volunteers a couple of weeks ago, and we have been blown away by how many people we had. We are up to 146 volunteers, and every Tuesday and Thursday, they sign up for a day, and we've had as many as 50 to 60. It's been a lot of fun meeting everybody. A lot of the people are new to the area, so a lot of them are just kind of feeling their way around, but it's been fun to watch them form friendships and pickleball partners and, aerobics. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to watch, and they've been so very, very helpful, very helpful. We're going to meet again tomorrow, and they're always excited and can't wait to see what we're going to do next. So it's been a lot of fun, but we just want to acknowledge them and ask that they stand up and say thank you formally. I think I have a few here. I don't have all 140 of them here today, but anyway. And a lot of them, many of them don't even live here, so it's been a lot of fun. A lot of them live at the beach. Some of them live out of state. They just passing through and sticking around for a while. So
It looks like some of them have their own death certificate too.
if y'all want to step up front.
Let's get a picture. You guys come on up front. If you're part of that volunteer, while you all were organizing, Ms. Harry was telling me it's just been really incredible to see some of the friendships forged from folks really all over the country that have come here and called Conway home. We're so grateful to have you.
Mayor Pro Tem, don't you want to be in the picture?
Ms. Harry, 140 volunteers? 146. And when you first started this initiative earlier this fall, late this summer, you were under the impression that far fewer had signed up, and then there was a technical glitch, I understand?
We did, we had, I was so thrilled, because within an hour, I had 10 volunteers, and I was very excited. And then that week, the next day was the first volunteer day, and probably 15 came, and I thought, wow, this is people are here. But this is great. And then I kept hearing people say, well, so-and-so signed up, so-and-so signed up, and finally I realized that, we had a technical, issue with our program, and we actually had over 100 that had signed up, not just my 10. So it's been a lot of fun.
Including someone who was just dying to be here.
That's
Yes. All right, well, thank you for all of your hard work. It's starting to show off here. We're certainly grateful. We're going to move on to presentation of Employee of the Month for September. This is going to be for public safety.
Captain Carter with the Conway City Police Department, and I would like to recognize our Employee of the Month for September, and it's going to be Sergeant Shane Carter, 54. I reckon, go ahead. In nominating Shane, I mean, this award is not enough what he does for our community. He goes above and beyond every day with his shift, if it's physical fitness or getting out with kids in the community, playing ball, I mean, all kinds of things that Shane does. Just not for this month, but ever since he's been an officer with us. And he's definitely an employee our other officers look up to and strive to be every day. So, congratulations.
All right, next we'll have our presentation of the Hero Awards.
Do you have a microphone? I'll speak.
William. Adam.
Miss Nikki Goldman, come on up. And Miss Nikki Richardson. Hey, ladies.
She's a trip.
You okay? I know. So in 2021, the city of Conway introduced the Hero Award to recognize employees of the city who display exceptional courage, awareness, or quick thinking, to come to the aid of someone or something in a time of crisis. In other words, this award is to recognize our heroes. The presentation of this award is rare. I can't remember the last time, it's been a while since we've given it, it is rare. So it gives me great pleasure to award it today to two more heroes who work here for this great city of Conway. In late July, a person called the office of our municipal court. She had been the victim of a violent crime and had some questions. As fate would have it, our clerk of court, Nikki Goldman, was the person who answered the call. While the call started as a typical interaction, her attentiveness made her realize that something else was going on. She talked the caller into allowing our victim advocate, Nikki Richardson, to talk to her as well. Ms. Richardson talked to her for 2 hours. I won't make the details of all of that call public, but I will say quite simply and in no uncertain terms that over the course of those 2 hours, these two employees saved the caller's life. By the end of the call, first responders from another jurisdiction were able to locate the caller and give her the help that she needed. Many people would have simply gone about the normal business of this call without thinking more deeply about the needs of the person on the other end of the line. But on that day, a person's life was saved because that person called the city of Conway with a question. It is our sincere honor to give this award today to both Nikki Goldman and Nikki Richardson. Congratulations and thank you all. That's really special, and thank you for what you did, not just to help that person, but as a reminder to all of us that sometimes just taking a few minutes to go out of your time can make all the difference in the world, as it obviously did in this case. All right, we're going to move on to first reading, item 5A. First reading of ordinance ZA 2025-10-06A to rezone approximately 3,900 plus or minus acres of property located at 5206 Columbia Street from Horry County Residential, no mobile homes allowed, SF10 district to the city of Conway low medium density residential R1 district upon annexation in the city of Conway. Ms. Hux, floor is yours.
Yes. The applicant's requesting annexation and zoning of this property due to the property being sold and the requirement of current owners to connect to city utilities. Adjacent properties were annexed in May and August of 2024, making this property contiguous. Several other properties within the College Park subdivision have been annexed over the years, and the requested zoning upon annexation is low to medium density residential district, or R1. First reading of the ordinance to annex the subject property was approved at the August 18th council meeting. And if first reading of this ordinance to zone the property R1 is approved, final reading of the ordinance to both annex the property and the ordinance to zone the property R1 upon annexation will be scheduled for the October 6th council meeting. Planning Commission held a public hearing on the request to zone the property R1 upon annexation at their September 4th meeting and recommended approval, and staff also recommends approval.
All right, thank you very much for that. Any questions, Mr. White?
I'd like to make a motion.
You'd like to make a motion, go
I
ahead.
move that we approve this first reading.
All right, so there's a motion. Ms. Harwick?
I'll second that motion, sir.
All right, we have a properly seconded motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. And that motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to item 5, letter B. First reading of ordinance ZA 2025-10-06 to rezone approximately 10.68 plus or minus acres of property located at the intersection of Highway 548 and Highway 501 from Horry County Commercial Forest Agricultural District to the City of Conway Highway Commercial District upon annexation into the City of Conway. Ms. Hux.
Yes, the applicants are intending to develop the property commercially, and because city utilities are going to be needed, they are required to request annexation. The city's future land use map also identifies the property as highway commercial, and the requested zoning is also highway commercial. First reading of the ordinance to annex was given at the August 18th council meeting, and if first reading of this ordinance to zone the property highway commercial upon annexation is approved, final reading of both the ordinance to annex the property and zone the property highway commercial will be considered at the October 6th council meeting. Planning Commission held the public hearing at their September 4th meeting and recommended approval of the request to zone the property highway commercial upon annexation, and staff also recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions? Mr. White, was that a hand?
I would, but I'll use someone else who would like. I move that we approve this first reading, please.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Ms. Helm, well, so Ms. Helms first.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a properly seconded motion. Is there any discussion on said ordinance? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Very good.
May I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Not
Yes, sir.
related to this, but on our documents, there is some information that has been redacted. Does the city, the community see those redactions as well?
The community, what we've done because of the amount of fraud that has apparently taken place is, we do keep the unredacted versions in the office, but a lot of what we've realized is that there are some companies that are setting up emails and then are able to access email addresses, private home addresses, and things like that of the people who apply. So in an effort to cut down on those, we are redacting them for public input, but if they do have a desire to come in and view those documents, they are available.
Thank you. Just wanted to make that clarification.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Moving on to item C, first reading of ordinance ZA 2025-10-06C to amend Article 1, Preamble, Article 3, Zoning Districts, Article 6, Design Standards, Article 13, Administrative Agencies and Functions, and Article 14, Boards and Procedures of the City of Conway Unified Development Ordinance, also known as our UDO, regarding requirements for annexation and amendments to the city's official zoning map, amendments related to city boards and procedures, and revisions to language in those articles of the UDO for clarity and consistency. Ms. Hugs.
Yes, so this amendment is part of a larger cleanup amendment that includes all of these articles of the UDO, and that initiative began in early 2024. And as I'm sure you've noticed, there have been some changes in the process for annexation and zoning, and that annexation is occurring separately from the zoning change. Annexation of property is a legislative function, and amendments to the official zoning map require review and recommendation by Planning Commission prior to annexation and the requested zoning becoming final. In cases where annexation is either requested or required, Planning Commission will only consider the proposed zoning after council has approved first reading of an ordinance to annex the property. And thereafter, once Planning Commission has held the public hearing and made a recommendation on the proposed zoning, the ordinance to rezone the property will be forwarded for first reading, and subsequently, if approved, both ordinance to annex and zone the property will be forwarded for final reading on the next available council agenda. This process will be outlined in Article 13 of the UDO, and these changes codify flexibility while ensuring that zoning decisions are always consistent with state requirements for Planning Commission review and public input. Also proposed is a name change to Article 1, which is currently called Preamble, to General Provisions, which will include several items not currently within our UDO. They will apply to the entire UDO, such as a proposed intent statement, applicability, transition rules, vested rights, fees and exemptions from those fees, limitations of liability, which are all common inclusions in any zoning ordinance or unified development ordinance. Remaining amendments to other articles include cleanup items that staff has been working on for several months. All of these amendments seek to clarify terms, ensure consistency across the UDO, update procedural standards, correct inconsistencies, and modernize for readability, and streamline the process for annexation and zoning map amendments. Planning Commission held the public hearing on the amendments at their September 4th meeting and recommended approval, and staff also recommends approval.
All right, so boil down, this is just housekeeping.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Any questions, council?
Just a comment.
Yes,
Mayor.
sir. Yes, sir.
We spent a lot of money to have this UDO done years past. Is this cleanup going to be the last time we have to go back in and clean up stuff?
Well, there are, back in 2024 budget retreat, that was one of the initiatives that staff had proposed. So we have been slowly but surely going through, because when you amend one section or one part of the UDO, you have to make sure that there's no other section in that UDO that is going to be affected. You want to make sure that it all is consistent with each other, and sometimes that leads to other amendments. So when we have an opportunity, especially when something comes along that maybe new guidance from MASC, because these things change over time, requirements change over time. So it was just an opportunity as part of a cleanup that we were already working on to make some of these other necessary changes as well.
And I thank you very much. Just wanted to ask that question. Thank you.
All right, sir, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to accept the ordinance? Mrs. Butler.
Make a motion to approve first reading?
All right, a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Ms. Helms? All right, any further discussion on this issue? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. And that motion too carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, moving on to item B, first reading of ordinance ZA 2025-16-06D to amend Article 4 use of tables and Article 5 specific use regulations of the City of Conway Unified Development Ordinance regarding requirements for non-commercial keeping of livestock or fowl and related accessory uses and/or structures in the Forest Agricultural Zoning District.
Yes, sir. As the city's footprint starts extending to the more rural areas of the county, there are several properties where the future land use map designates these properties as forest agriculture, many of them exceedingly even 100 acres in size. Staff did a random sampling of 30 of these properties, most of which are not currently in the city limits but are within our utility service area. They range from 2 acres to 277 acres in size, all shown as forest agriculture on the city's future land use map, and the average size being 52 acres. So the intent of forest agriculture is to establish and preserve areas for agricultural or passive recreation. And currently, our ordinance allows for non-commercial keeping of livestock in the rural agriculture and forest agriculture districts, but limits it to 1 such animal for every 2 acres. One of the key amendments being recommended is that the accessory structures related to livestock or fowl, like barns, chicken coops, or fencing, be permitted even when there's not a house on the property, but only when the lot is at least 5 acres in size. And aside from the amendment to the FA district, also proposes to include the rural residential district, which requires a minimum lot size of 1 acre, as one of the districts in which non-commercial keeping of livestock or fowl is permitted, subject to the same conditions. Other changes include relocation of some of the provisions within the ordinance already in effect, so that the requirements for non-commercial keeping of livestock or fowl is clear and consistent throughout the ordinance. The proposed changes within this ordinance seek to strike a balance between supporting agricultural traditions while ensuring compatibility with residential areas containing larger tracts of land, either already in the city or those which will eventually be in the city through annexation. Planning Commission held the required public hearing on the amendments at their September 4th meeting and recommended approval. One of the questions posed by Planning Commission was why the 5 acres was proposed. The 5-acre minimum ensures that the property has appropriate space to support animals without creating potential conflicts with adjacent properties that may be primarily residential. The 5-acre minimum also creates a clear distinction between suburban-scale residential lots and parcels that are truly agricultural or rural in nature. 5 acres is large enough to avoid conflicts and small enough to remain accessible and consistent with regional practice. Staff also recommends approval of the amendments, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Yes, sir, Mr. White.
If a person doesn't have 5 acres of land, but they have some of these animals on their property, what would they have to do with the animals?
Well, they can still have these animals, even if it's not forest agriculture, but they would have to, it would be a secondary or accessory use. So they would have to have it, basically their house would be there. And if it's 4 acres, for example, the rule would be that they could have 2 cows or 2 horses, because you can only have 1 for 2 acres. And then the rule for chickens is you can only have 1 for every 1 acre. So there would still be a limitation, and that number is already in effect. So they could still do it. The only difference being that in forest agriculture, they would not have to have a house on the property. They could have like a farm building or a barn, stables or something like that on the 5 acres. without a principal dwelling.
Thank you.
Good question, Mr. White. Any other questions? Is this in response to, I know we had a conversation earlier with a citizen who had, it was more than 5 acres, but not a tremendous amount of property, but it just made sense because it was either, William, we're gonna put our 2 or 3 horses out there, or I'm gonna sell it to Lenore or D.R. Horton and they're gonna stick trichomes on it. And anytime we can do something like this, I think it's just a good thing. And so I appreciate staff taking the initiative to work through this and make that change. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Is there a motion? Mr. Jordan,
Move that we approve first reading.
is there a second? Ms. Helms? Okay, any other discussion before I call for the vote? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, moving on to letter E, first reading of ordinance ZA 2025-11-03A to annex approximately 2.15 plus or minus acres of property located at 1001 Creel Street.
The applicant is requesting annexation into the city, and upon annexation, the requested zoning is professional. The property is within the city's utility service area, so any changes to the property, such as it being sold or a change from residential to commercial, would require annexation be requested. The property is currently zoned Horry County General Residential. The city's future land use map identifies the property as low-density residential. However, properties on either side of it and one on the opposite side of Creel Street are zoned professional. At this time, staff is unaware of any proposed plans for the subject property. There is currently a residential home on the property. If first reading of annexation is approved, Planning Commission is scheduled to hold a public hearing on the request for the professional district and make a recommendation at their October 2nd meeting. The property is considered a donut hole in the city limits, and therefore staff does recommend approval.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. White?
Move that we approve first reading.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Ms. Helms? I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Here, none. I'll just pipe in. Just to be clear, going with the designation of professional as opposed to commercial really knocks out the potential for a lot of your later night, weekend type activities that would otherwise interfere with surrounding residential property, correct?
Yes, the professional district is meant to be a transitional zone between your more intense commercial and your residential districts. There are some things that it would still allow, fire, police station, a library, accounting firms. You're going to see more of your service-oriented or your professional offices is something that would be permitted there. But it would allow like a cafe or a restaurant, coffee shop, things like that, but not like a gas station or, things, or nothing that would bring late night activities.
Very good. Thank you so much. All right, we have a properly seconded motion. No other questions. All those in favor signify by raising your hand, please. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, one more of these, y'all, and then we're moving on. Okay. Letter F, first reading of ordinance 2025-10-06E, approving the execution of a quit claim deed, thank you, for property in the Pecan Grove subdivision, specifically the parcels identified. I'm going to read these out as PIN numbers 368-15-03-0033 and 368-15-03-0035. Ms. Simon, welcome.
Thank you. This is actually a problem that goes back a couple decades, but it was just brought to light with the sale of a home. The Pecan Grove subdivision, can you show the other map, Gene, real quickly? Was developed in 2005, and as part of that phase 1 in 2005, you can see they had proposed a little stub out called Pecan Way, which is highlighted in pink. And that was shown in part of Phase 1. Well, in 2008, when they came back for Phase 2, they realized, and the reason they did that initially was they thought they'd be developing behind it as part of Phase 2. Come to find out, that was a really wet area, they couldn't develop behind it, so what they ended up doing, you can show the second map now, Gene, they combined it and made it another lot. The problem is that between those two, after they created the stub out, but before they changed the lots, they deeded that little stub out to the city. So it was city-owned, which created a cloud on the title. Somehow, houses got built 2 decades ago. This has been sold, they've been sold several times, but it just came to light with a recent title search. And so with that, a quitclaim deed from the city would clear that title. So I've got that before you today in ordinance form for first reading. Staff doesn't have any issues with it. It was approved as part of a Phase 2 plat almost 20 years ago. We've approved homes since then. It wouldn't make sense to have a stub out that you can see now would go straight into a lake, so.
Thank you, Ms. Hyman.
Yes.
Council, any questions for her? Comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'm going to do first, approve first reading, excuse me.
Mr. White, thank you. Got a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Ms. Butler?
I second the motion.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, any other further discussion or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. And that too carries unanimously. Thank you all. All right, moving down to consideration. Item number 6A, consideration of a resolution of commitment to provide a local match for an MASC Big Idea grant. Simon.
Yes, the city is proposing to apply for the Big Idea Grant, which is designed to fund bold, creative, and forward-thinking ideas. As you know, council has identified the need for a splash pad to be located at Smith Jones Park, and staff thinks that this is a good match for that grant, as does council. But as part of that application, MASC requires that council pass a resolution committing to the required match of $5,000, and if it is approved tonight, we will apply before the September deadline.
Gotcha. And just to be clear, MASC stands for the Municipal Association of South Carolina. And I saw Mr. White's hand. He looks like he's got something he wants to say.
I want us to get it done.
We're trying.
Is that a motion, Mr. White?
I move that we approve this grant.
Okay, I got a motion. Is it Mr. Jordan?
I will second Mr. White's motion.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. And that carries as well. Thank you, Ms. Hyman.
Thank you.
We'll welcome Mr. Harrelson to the floor. Oh. Nope. All right. Item D, consideration of bid for Public Works annual asphalt contract.
Sidewalk repairs and improvements. The contract for sidewalk repairs and improvements expired on September the 12th, 2025. The City of Conway sent out bid requests for the bid openings was August the 13th, 2025 at 2 p.m. 4 bids were received, with Jail Works LLC being the low bidder overall, and we recommend that we move on with that.
You recommend we go with that? All
Yes,
right. Any questions for him? Yes, sir.
Do you have a listing of sidewalks that are going to be repaired with this?
We do have a small list, and we're adding to it every day.
I got a question. Is that something that you all identify, or is that something that if a neighborhood identifies, hey, we need a sidewalk, we want to get on the list, you go out there, you identify it as a high-traffic area, this would make sense to have a sidewalk? Walk me through that process.
Well, we have inspectors now, too, that actually go out and inspect sidewalks, trying to get them before the residents have to. But we also have residents that call in the neighborhoods and downtown that'll call in and say, hey, look, you might want to come check this sidewalk for a trip hazard, and we'll go out, we'll mark it, and get it ready to be replaced.
Usually as part of the budget retreat process, we identify the sidewalks that are new sidewalks to be included as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Any other questions? Motion
I move that we approve first reading.
Thank you, Mr.
I
White.
mean, approve this.
Ms. Harwood?
I'd like to second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying, raising your hand. All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we are moving on to public input. I have 3 folks that signed up to speak in advance. They are Jenny Hammond, Lynn Hammond, and Allison Hudson. We're going to start with Mr. Hammond. Welcome, sir. If you'll come to the podium.
Mr. Bear, you drinking your water?
Welcome. If you'll state your name, address.
My name is Jimmy Hammond, 1550 Churchill Drive, live in Conway. I feel like I'm at Shark's Tank right here trying to make a presentation to y'all to get y'all to buy into this situation I'm in. And I got Mr. Wonderful behind the mic today, and maybe he'll help me. And I'm requesting, when y'all do public input, that I would hear something back when y'all have y'all's council input of your ending of the meeting. I would like to introduce, I was told that just me coming up here, it wasn't enough, so I've invited several retirees that are affected in this situation. And I'd like to introduce y'all to Mr. Randall Graham right here. He is a fine, outstanding individual. He had 26 years in the police department, and he was police chief 3 different times because y'all needed him. The city of Conway needed him. I'd like to introduce y'all to Mr. Tim Chapman, sitting right beside him. Mr. Tim Chapman's been with the police department for 30 years with the city of Conway. He could have retired at 25, but he stayed on at 30 because it's a wonderful organization to work for. I got over here Mr. Eddie Scott. Mr. Eddie Scott, I'm glad to see that you're out of the hospital and come to join us today. Mr. Eddie Scott was with the police department for 28 years, and you brought a lot of individuals along through the years, young people, trained them, told them it was a good thing to be with the city of Conway and the police department. Now I'm going to leave the best for last, Miss Jane Mackey. Miss Jane Mackey, I'm glad to see that she's doing a lot better. She fell through the floor and broke her leg, but she has no cast on anymore. Ribs, broke her ribs. I'll get it straight. I was looking at her legs a while ago. But she's been in there for 33 years. 33 years, sitting behind that gavel up there, or in that office over there, and said, yes, you owe me $185 for going 4 miles over the speed limit. Yes, yes you do. Or, let me send you to training. Let me send you to somewhere or another to get you some training. But I'm here. And I would like for y'all to take the time to look in, because these are individuals that's suffering from this. And haven't heard anything back from y'all. It's been 106 days. Now the staff over here, the people over here that I've talked to, they said they can't do anything. Cannot do anything. I've talked to them several times. They said I've got to come to council. Council's the one who made the decision. So I'm here, council. 106 days and you won't talk. And you got people up there right now that's running for office, and y'all going to be saying in your cards and your publicity going out that I talk to people, open, come talk to me, I want to speak to you. Yes, I'm friendly and all that, but none of y'all have talked. None of you. Right down the street from me, you and I grew up somewhat together, not really, but I'm a lot older than you. Live right down the street from us. Thank you. But for keeping on with that, I did invite my wife to come today and did not know my daughter was coming. So.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond. Mrs. Hammond, we welcome you. If you two, just as a procedural,
I will.
For the record, give us your name, address, and I did not remind Mr. Hammond, but I'll remind everybody, we do not talk about personnel and all those, we're just talking about this.
And I do have the Horry County crud also, so this is how gruffy I'm sounding. All right, I'm Lynn Hammond, 1515 Churchill Drive, Conway. All right, good afternoon. This is out of my box for me to do this. I am speaking for my husband, and for the other retirees that cannot speak or voice their opinion because they live out in the county and they're not allowed to speak, but they've put in 30-plus years for the city. We all are on a fixed income, this group. Every one of us, even including myself, is on a fixed income. Everybody in here will be on a fixed income sooner or later. I feel like there's been a major breakdown in communications. It really has. An old, wise man told me there are three sides to a story. And it's not Facebook or social media. It's my side, your side, or the truth. We need, these men and wonderful lady need the opportunity to voice what is happening to their insurance. Why 17 years later you act upon this? Yes, it was voted on 2008. They had already put in 20-plus years. They were already invested in the city. I know, I lived it. But there's still no communications. This is the great group, but never, and you know, never is a hard word. You can hardly say never. But they were never told that their insurance would be cut in half. Never. Up to this day, until we got that certified letter in June, and I received it from the mailman. I said, oh boy, what's this about? Not even dreaming it was about insurance. Then it all went, oh boy, we've got to figure out our budget again. And I know Mr. Randall, Mr. Tim, and Ms. Jane, and Mr. Scott, they've had to do the same thing. They've had to dig deep. Again, no communications. In today's terms, y'all have ghosted them. You've left them hanging. So please, please consider talking to them, their side, your side, and the truth. It needs to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hammond. Ms. Hudson, welcome.
Super excited.
Just give us your full legal name.
I got it. My name is Allison Hudson, and I live at 4049 Ridgewood, Conway, 29526. So I wanted to get up here and speak just for a few minutes. I've been briefed about the situation, but I don't know all the details. So just hear me out. Good evening. My name is Allison Hudson, the daughter of Jimmy and Lynn Hammond, and a proud Conway native. I want to share a memory with you. Picture a little girl, 7 years old, curled up in their bed at night. Suddenly, you hear footsteps running down the hallway, and it's their dad running, putting on his gear after a call comes over the radio. That's what they did back then. Firefighters laid everything on the line with heart, soul, and sacrifice. That little girl laid there praying that her father would come home safe, proud that he was on the way to save someone's home, maybe even someone's life, by putting in his own risk. That little girl was me. That firefighter is my dad. This was our life. He missed holidays, birthdays, spent many weekends away. Nights we would wonder if we were going to see him again. And my family's not unique. So many Conway families lived the same reality because their loved ones gave their best years serving this city. They did it without complaint. They did it on modest pay, and they trusted. We trusted you that the benefits they earned would be there for their retirement. Now with their health insurance being amended, the promise feels broken. The men and women who served this city for many years are now being forced to make choices no retiree should make between medical care, prescriptions, and basic needs. Council members, Conway is not in a recession. In fact, the city's budget has grown by millions in the past 3 years. Conway is thriving, And if Conway cannot honor its retirees in the time of prosperity, what message does that send to those who serve today? What does that say about our values? My father stood by Conway in the hardest times. I'm asking you now to please stand by him and every retiree who has sacrificed so much for this city. Don't turn your backs on them now. And I'll leave you with this. If you can't honor the men and women who built this city, then you're not just breaking a promise, you're breaking their trust. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. I should have said this at the onset, I did not, I'll say it now. Most of you, many of you know that public input is not a time for dialogue back and forth between, it's just not. But with that, I'll say this. Prior to this meeting, we have set in motion a meeting so that this council and this staff can learn more about what happened in 2008. I think part of the frustration is that none of us were here in 2008. I don't think any of our staff that are in the positions that they are today were in those positions back in 2008. So when it comes to not getting back to you or not communicating, it's a lack of understanding, and that's something that we've got to understand for ourselves first. So I would ask you and urge you to please be patient. We do care, I can assure you that. Thank you.
But we only have the end of October, so I let you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I sincerely mean that. All right. That is the conclusion of today's public input. We'll now hear from Mr. Emmerich, the city administrator's report. Mr. White.
I move that we close public input.
Okay. We don't have to, but yeah. All right, there's a motion to close public input. Is there a second? Ms. Helms.
I'll second this motion.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? There you go. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. White. Mr. Emmer.
Good afternoon. Just make you aware of some things that are coming up in the near future. The first Mayor's Youth Advisory Meeting of the year is this Thursday. We have 9 new members joining the Youth Council and 4 returning. So there'll be 13 total on this year's Youth Advisory Committee. The Conway High School Homecoming Parade is this Friday. The parade starts promptly at 4 o'clock, as you know, so if you could be there no later than 3:45 to ride on the fire truck, it'll be at the old tennis center where we typically line up. And this year, we have ordered more of the footballs to throw out, so we should have plenty for the entire route of the parade. I would caution you, though, if you throw them all at the beginning of the parade, it doesn't matter how many we get, they'll still all be gone. Okay. Conway Superstars Competition is September 27th at 3:30. It's at the McCown Auditorium in the Horry County Museum on Main Street. This annual event showcases some of the best vocal talent in Conway. It's completely free to the public to enjoy, and we encourage everyone to be able to attend that as well.
What location again, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, this Saturday, Saturday the 27th at 3:30 at the McCown Auditorium at the Horry County Museum, the old borough school. If you haven't seen it yet, Holiday Alley is amazing. We're going to have a hard time making it spooky for Halloween, but we're going to give it a good try. When you leave here tonight, I'm not sure where you all park, but make sure you change your pathway home just to be able to walk down it and see what's going on there. If you're there and there's so many staff out there working, please give them a big thank you for working on it. It really is it came together better than we expected. It's just amazing. We will schedule a special themed ribbon cutting for Holiday Alley very shortly, which is a segue into our Halloween prep work, which is underway. You've probably seen some of the Halloween decorations going up. The canopy lights in the trees are being replaced this week with new ones, and the pumpkins are going out very soon. So if you get questions, pumpkins will be out soon. The rest of downtown is already buzzing with people and with items being placed and then tweaked to get them right. We have 2 weeks to put a bow on it and have it ready by October 1st, which is our first big event of Halloween. It's called the Big Boo-ginning. Last year it was called the Costume March. We gave it a good name this year. It's the Big Boo-ginning. It will begin at the same location as last year, across the street, this time at 4th and Kingston, and at the Town Green with the concert. The Halloween calendar is growing daily, and we expect to hit 300 events for the month before we kick off the month. I'm going to highlight just a couple, not all 300, otherwise we'd be here for a long time. First, we've added 2 new exciting events that will run all month. Crazy Sisters Halloween Pirate Adventure will operate pirate ship rides on the Waccamaw And Murder Beach Productions will operate a haunted house-style maze at the Old Tennis Center. Both of these events will run all month. It allows us to add some amazing events without having to staff them. They're privately operated businesses. We've also partnered with a few other groups to sponsor props or events. Horry Georgetown Technical College is sponsoring our Halloween movie series at the Terrace this year, every Friday night in October, plus 2 sensory-friendly movies at the Sports and Fitness Center. All are sponsored by HGTC. The Barn Dough Company, that builds barn dominiums, is building a Halloween-themed barn dominium filled with fun on Lower Laurel Street. Ortho SC is getting on the spirit, and they're building a huge spider on the Riverwalk that you can walk under. All those things will be up in the near future. Again, it's a way for us to bring in partners that add to what we do without having to add to the expense and the staffing that we do. The Halloween Hustle, Public Safety Day, the Labor of Love Craft Fair, and the first appearance of Fuego the Marsh Tacky Horse all take place on October 4th. There's a lot more that day, as there is every day, but these are the highlights. On the weekend of the 10th and 11th, we'll bring back the Smoke on the Water Barbecue Festival. The Chicora Car Club is having a car show. Falktoberfest at Falk Chiropractic. The Fall Fest by Horry County Family Outreach is at Ladybug Park. And Horry County Museum is having local ghost stories on that weekend. The weekend of the 17th, I'm not going to go any further than this weekend, kicks off on the 16th with our Skeleton Disco at Kingston Park. It's also Ghost Walk Week from Conway Downtown Alive, and the Theater Republic's youth performing arts festivals downtown as well. Pretty much everything that could go on in 1 month is going on in October. It's going to be absolutely crazy, and I think everyone's going to agree it's going to be a pretty magical year. There's already people everywhere. Tonight we have reports from Judge Kayla Fleming and from Jeff Lavalley. First, before they come up, I wanted to share that for the second year in a row, Conway has made HGTV's top 40 most charming downtowns in America list. So congratulations to you, council, for this pretty awesome achievement. It's, I think we all thought we should be on that list, but no one ever expects to get on it. Getting on it 2 years in a row is quite an accolade. So thank you to you guys. And if there's no questions for me, I will turn it over to Kayla first.
I have a question. I was asked Friday night at Shoppers why the band had to quit playing at 10, and they said it was a noise ordinance.
That's also a violation of the
Is there any
ordinance.
way we can amend that? Like, instead of
We can.
10 o'clock, maybe go till 11 o'clock?
Yeah, sure. Our noise ordinance now goes, I think it's 9, actually, not 10. We could definitely look at amending that, and perhaps just for the downtown, if that makes the most sense. We can bring that back at a future council meeting.
All right, thank you.
But probably, if it's okay, we'd workshop it maybe first and then bring back an amendment. Any other questions? Yes?
I just have one. I think everything looks fantastic, but the walkway from Bones Alley to the town green, we added the nice brick walkway. Just a point of concern, I'm afraid of people coming through there, they do not see pedestrians crossing at night, or during the daytime, as a matter of fact. I don't know if we could put, I don't even know if they would see sandwich signs if you put them in the middle of the road, but I do think we have a lot more traffic and watching, and people are so excited they're not paying attention, they're walking right out of the traffic. Also thought maybe at night you could put like a pencil pole wrapped in lights that just would do something to flare, to stop, to kind of slow people down.
Let us brainstorm on that. It might be that we can just close the alley for the evenings when it gets dark.
Oh, no.
But not for pedestrian traffic.
No.
You mean Second Avenue or Scarborough Alley?
Second Avenue.
Oh, no, Second Avenue, okay.
But I'm thinking where what I call alley bones, coming from.
I got you,
the town
okay.
green. You come underneath the bridge. It's just something to look at. I just think we've got so much going on and so many people walking that are so excited, which is a great problem to have. We gotta think more than just a little bit.
It's a good idea. Let us try to brainstorm something. Yeah, sure. Any other questions? All right. Okay.
Wait, one more. Please continue spraying for the mosquitoes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good evening. How are y'all today?
Fine.
Just wonderful, right? It's a pleasure to work for the city of Conway. I just want to let you know. Thank you. Our municipal court has been busy, as always. Just recently, at the end of July, we hired a ministerial recorder named Jessica Daniels, and she's doing a wonderful job. Just last week, she completed a 3-day intensive training in Columbia, but she'll actually go for her 2-week training coming up in March, where she'll take her test afterwards. And we have one position open for judicial assistant that we plan to fill in November. I didn't want to be training two at one time for different positions and not give them what they needed or deserved as training. And the last thing that I have is for debt set-off this year, we took a record amount. We were seeking $475,000, and that would have been from years 2021, 2022, and 2023. And we received a total of around $50,000, which is great, because last year we only received $5,000. But it just depends on who files taxes. But that's all I have. Do y'all have any questions? All right.
No questions, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we do have a report from Jeff, who's coming around. I see him moving.
Good afternoon, Council. Just a quick update from Technology Services Department is we completed the dark fiber project, which connected the 378 complex and the rec center back to public safety. We upgraded that to a 10 gigabit connection from a 50 meg lease line. It's just like 1,000 times faster. Their communications back to the city. All the networking equipment at both locations have been upgraded to support that. We have hit 400 cameras on the citywide camera network. It was a year ago when I reported that we hit 300. So we're growing that system at a rate of about 100 cameras a year. Expanded coverage includes the Riverwalk with over 20 cameras, the 378 complex, multiple downtown intersections, multiple UFO multi-camera units at city parks. We also collaborated with Coastal Carolina University's production department and sharing specific cameras highlighting the downtown area where they can switch to on a live basis during their broadcast of the football and the baseball games to actually highlight the city of Conway. Some of these include City Hall, Scarborough Alley, Kingston Park, Teal Alley, Holiday Alley, and the new splash pad and more. Just an update on the water flow sensor, the water level sensor project. That's currently in the SCDOT permit stage. This project is to place 5 water level sensors one in the Waccamaw River, one at Kingston Lake, and 3 locations on Crabtree Swamp. We're going to use this data during storm events to actually monitor these areas on a live basis so we can actually make decisions in real time. We've also collaborated with the Southeast Coastal Ocean Observing Regional Association to share data with them so they can share it with other people, and in return they will provide maintenance on these sensors for us at no cost. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Jeff? I got a question. These cameras that we're putting, are these are built in-house, I understand?
Yes.
Okay.
These are all permanent, built in-house. We have the portables that we build in-house that we can move around depending on where police might need them. But we're also installing a lot of in-house permanent cameras. All the downtown intersections, 2nd and Laurel, 3rd and Laurel, in multiple other right in this area, all have permanent cameras now. Those are not portable, they're live 24/7.
With the portable cameras, as I understand it, if we had a crime spree in a particular neighborhood,
Yes.
maybe folks checking door handles at night, we can put that apparatus.
We can deploy those on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times Detective Watford will let Marcus or Louis know, hey, we had this happen last night, can we get a camera over here? Because they're expecting something else to happen probably. We'll go put one up.
So 300 last year, we're at 400 now.
Yes.
Let's just assume, we know this isn't the case, but let's just assume the city didn't grow its footprint. What would be a reasonable expectation for for cameras where we could have a pretty good blanket, sort of like what Myrtle Beach does. I mean, I've watched them talk about how they can literally watch somebody commit a crime and they can track that person.
The police have budgeted 10 portable cameras per year, and that's an ongoing budget. So we build 10 new ones every year for them. So we're up to, I think, 47 now, of those portables. So those are growing 10 per year. And we also, just around town, various locations, especially in the parks, that's where we're expanding the most. The difficult part with that is we're limited by wireless access because we don't have wires running to these locations. So we have to bounce wirelessly from water tower to water tower to the park. So we can only put so many cameras on that system before it saturates the feed to the point that where the cameras are not working well. So that's pretty much our limiting factor at this point. As the city grows, it's just a matter of either more portable cameras or growing our wireless footprint to support the speeds to bring the feedback to our main servers. We've got 6 servers now controlling these things. I would say probably, I don't know, 1,000 cameras would be a nice footprint to have to cover a pretty large basis. We're almost halfway there.
Wow.
This whole downtown area and this whole Scarborough Alley, and the Holiday Alley and all these projects are expanding the cameras because we're adding them right along with these projects. Every earth gets one. We cover the alleys. We covered the Riverwalk expansion. We just added 6 more in Holiday Alley to cover all those areas, including the parking lots. So it's expanding rapidly.
The new developments that are coming, if you would, or will they be getting cameras in those areas?
As far as subdivisions go?
Yes, sir.
Now, Dale has worked out with some of them to, if they want, they can fund one of these portable cameras in their subdivision or 2. I know Dale was working on that with some subdivisions. We'd be happy to provide them, but it's up to the HOA or the subdivisions to be able to help us with those cameras and not just buy them and put them in for them.
That was going to be our second part of the question. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Jeff, I've just got one more question, unless anyone else does. We're seeing more and more tag readers around town. Can you update us on that and just take a moment?
Now, I haven't, as the flock tag readers, that is a grant that the police has been working on. I haven't been involved with that, so I don't know the details of the grant or where these are located. That would be more of a question for Dale, because, I mean, pretty much he has not involved us whatsoever with that project. They are valuable, and I know that as far as in the NCIC system, if one of these cameras picks up a plate that is in NCIC, meaning that it's been flagged as stolen, or it's being, possible abduction or something like that, it's automatically sent to the department, and the officers in the cars get that notification within their P1 application that this plate was picked up at this location, so they know about it immediately. So they are definitely beneficial.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, I think it's, you and the city and the staff have done a tremendous job in getting these cameras and working with our police and our safety forces to ensure the safety of our citizens. And I think it's also that it's not obtrusive to the beauty of our city and our downtown when you're walking around. So I think it's a job very well done.
We're trying to camouflage them, so to say. I mean, if we have a black pole, we're putting up black cameras. We're not trying to look at businesses or any areas that would be intrusive, for example. We're mainly looking at an alleyway where somebody could trip and fall and get hurt, or, to protect
people like that, and intersections, because you get a lot of FOIAs for accidents and stuff like that.
I think it's a great job.
Excellent, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, have a good evening.
All right, we are going to move on to council input this evening. We're going to start with Ms. Martin.
Thank you, sir. I'm just going to make this, very quick, but it's so exciting, everything that is happening now in the city, and everything that everybody is doing. The crews that, I mean, you must be working 24/7 days to get everything done. The volunteers, everything is amazing, and also, I mean, I love hearing about the amazing Citizens Academy, and also how people are getting involved with our city on a different level. I think that is just kudos to everybody who's thinking up these ideas and implementing them, because we're actually now getting people involved daily with our city. So thank y'all very much.
Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, sir. No, just to say thanks to all the staff that's been working on the decorations for Halloween and the 140-plus volunteers. I travel all over North and South Carolina for work, and the number of people that have either been here before or inquiring about when everything's going to be ready is astonishing. So I can't wait to see the record-breaking numbers that we're going to have during the month of October. And to anyone that was involved with the 9/11 tribute on Thursday, amazing job once again. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Mr. White.
Two things. We were discussing on Whittemore Street that the road that's a paper road. One of the gentlemen that had property right there was asking about how he could get that road paved. And we hadn't answered that question yet, so we can try to figure that out.
At this point, the only way for him to build a house on it would be for him to pay the expense of paving the road himself and bringing it to city standards. Assuming I know who you're speaking of, he's been told many times.
Okay. And then secondly, Norton Street, which is where the father's place is, that road needs to be cleaned up a little bit and also maybe even paved, please.
Is it a dirt road now, or does it just need resurfacing?
It needs resurfacing and widening if possible. Thank you.
That's all.
And I thank everybody for everything you're doing.
Ms. Butler.
Real quick, just want to mention that Conway High School is having their homecoming week. Just want to encourage everyone to support Conway High School as they do their homecoming game on Friday night. I also want to recognize Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who was right there from Coastal Carolina University, who is world champion for the 100 meters in track and field. So just to want to appreciate our local athletes as well as our high schoolers who are one day going to make us proud. So.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Helms.
And like Ms. Butler said, homecoming weekend, I actually went to Waffle House on Friday night and got to eat dinner with your son and some of the football players, and I know they don't have a great season this year, but the attitudes of the players and the respectfulness with the older people that were in there, to be me, I enjoyed their company, so I think that this week should be a good week, and I'm looking forward to the football game, and I appreciate the landscaping, which is doing really well. Thanks, Jessica, for getting us a good hire with that. Bradley's doing a great job. And I do appreciate all the volunteers. I hope they continue to help and go through the Christmas season with us, so we'll need them for that too, and I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I've just got a couple of things. I too enjoy homecoming week. I think homecoming week in Conway speaks to the character of our community, and by that I mean this. When I was in high school, we lived for homecoming week, and for a lot of reasons that I'll share off air, but they still treasure the same values, some 25 plus years later that we did, back in the 90s when you could get away with so much more except for that one time we accidentally egged the county police car, which may have had something to do with them moving it to the school and not having it at people's houses anymore. But still, it speaks to who we are as a community, that we're able to come together. And coming together this week in the wake of last week, regardless of which side of the aisle you fall on, is important. And I think it speaks to this group and how we work together so beautifully, and how often we don't always agree, and especially behind closed doors, we don't always agree, but, you know, we respect each other, and that's a special thing, and we respect our staff. And, you know, that's, I could go on and on and on, I won't, but I'm proud to be a part of this group, and I'm proud of all of you, and I'm proud of the dedication that it takes. And, you know, we thank our public safety a lot, as we should, but it's not just them. It's, you know, it's getting out on the sanitation truck at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's 36 and raining. It's doing all the things that too often we take for granted. Let's just take a moment and be thankful. You know, it's nice to see pumpkins in the trees and Halloween stuff. That's great. But it's also nice to know that you live in a city where you've got so many different people working together to make things happen that even I take for granted too often. And so with that, I am done, y'all. We did have a workshop on the schedule, but we're not going to have a workshop tonight. However, we do have an executive session. We'll be moving into the back room here in just a second. But that is for consideration of appointments to boards, commissions, and committees pursuant to SC Code 30-4-708. So we're going to go into the back room for executive session. Then we'll come back here if any decisions are made. You're welcome to stay here, but we're going to be in there. So if we miss you, if you get out of here, thank you. Have a good night. We appreciate all of you. That's a good question. That's most widely misled.
A lot of
Like,
people.
think that this, because my mom or my daddy or my, no, there has to be, statute's very clear, has to be an economic conflict of interest. And if there's not, state statute says you cannot abstain.
I said it
from
loudly,
voting.
we're not on the air, sorry.
You're on the child support.
All right, we are back on the air as well.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're back on there. Welcome back, everyone. In the matter of executive session, the appointment to boards and commissions, is there a motion? Mr. White.
I move that we accept the said thing for the, what is it?
CoStar TS.
Cryptos status of board.
I'll second your motion.
There's a second by Ms. Helms. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on this. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. That decision is unanimous. We'll congratulate Mr. Butler. All right. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I move we go home.
Well, let's come.
Oh, we
No,
gotta
we
come
already
out.
did. No, we already did come out because we just voted. That's right. All right. So we got a motion to take it to the House.
Second.
We got a second to take it to the House. And any discussion? Hearing none. Raise your hand. Unanimous.
Yes.
Good night.
All right, did anybody have these envelopes?
It's amazing
Scared to
how
open them.
they can
It's a letter from,
Am I just not throwing
no, we're still on there.
I know that's what I was about to ask a question.
What are the guys with Jimmy?
Oh, Mr. Chapman.
Jim, will you make sure Jeff knows we've adjourned?
Oh,
Yeah, will you tell him to turn that off, please?
I see. When are we gonna discuss this thing?